Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. You heard that I'm not a geologist, so I'm probably the first one not to be a geologist today. I'm very glad to be here. I started this new job at the UN very recently, actually 3 weeks ago, to be perfectly honest with you. So I'm very excited, and particularly as well, I got to know about the work that we are doing in this space over the last few days, and I think it's very important and it's very topical. And you might be asking yourself, what's the role of the United Nations in this? Well, you know, United Nations was founded 75 years ago as a successor of the Society of Nations to do a number of things at global level. It's the truly only global international organization. 193 countries belong to the United Nations, and at that time, peace, prosperity, human aid, human rights, these are the elements, the issues that the United Nations was founded for. And alongside that, there is as well the support to sustainable development and climate action. And here it comes the work that we do in the space where you are active. You all know about the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, and the Agenda 2030. They are listed here in this slide. There are 17 of them. Raw materials, geoscience, critical raw materials, commodities, energy, they all penetrate, they are all everywhere, all over that landscape. And certainly are key to a number of, to the attainment of a number of those development goals, so the Sustainable Development Goals. The United Nations is a very complex organization and is organized in many different items. I work at the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe, which is one of the 5 regional commissions that were established, to bring to the regions across the world the policies that the Economic and Social Council and the General Assembly and the Secretariat of the United Nations want to implement. So we are, on one hand, let's say, let me allow this expression, an implementing agency of policies, of international policies. And in particular, in this space, I want to highlight and celebrate the work that my predecessors and the team, who's actually is here as well, have been doing in this space, in particular, and that as well explain a little bit more, in the United Nations framework classification, the UNFC. So what is first of all, 2 words about the European Commission, which is actually the Economic Commission for Europe, to be distinguished from the European Commission, distinguished colleagues with whom we work very closely. I'm leading the Sustainable Energy Division, which has a very wide mandate, and it has to deal with all the technologies across energy, renewables, but as well non-renewable energies, with a view of bringing Europe in a larger sense, because we have 56 member states. So we have Europe, but we have North America, Central Asia. So we have a very wide region. We cover a very wide region. Plus we work with more than 70 international professional associations and more than 5,000 experts across the world. So it's a very big mandate for a very big region, for very big issues. And here, the role that the Commission has played in this space has been particularly important. First, I would say in 2 different ways. The first one is, I would say, at the level of classification, which I think is a very important role, and we go in a minute and explain you a little bit more what's the UNFC and what's the United Nations Resource Management System. But as well in what we have heard today from the previous speakers about all the issues that we're facing, all the transition issues that we're facing, the energy, the availability of raw materials, etc. The concerns around the potential, the possibility of actually implementing, undertaking the transition has been clear, and the Secretary General last year established a working group on extractive industries to show you the importance of mineral resources in allowing the transition, the much broader transition. There will not be a transition without the availability of critical raw materials. We heard Philippe Baran before mentioning some of the numbers that International Energy Agency has stated. This is and it's probably is the first element of the keynote speech of international partnership, as Özlem had before. We are pairing up with a sister organization from the United Nations, UNEP and UNDP, to make sure that, as we have heard as well, that the mining industry transforms, changes its ways of doing business towards a sustainable world. One of the speakers said that there won't be acceptance from the public opinion unless the mining industry adopts sustainable methods, and I totally share that perspective, and I think it's a work that we all need to do. And here in this group that was launched by the Secretary General, we're working with the World Bank, with the European Commission again, the IGF, the Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative, private sector, and in actually bringing forward, in actually penetrating, having these sustainable methods penetrate throughout an industry which we know has been plagued by a number of negative events. So let me come to specifically to the EGS and to our relation with EGS. It's a long-standing relation. We have been working very closely with them. The EGS is part of our group, of our expert groups. Within the Economic Commission for Europe, we have 6, let's say, work streams. One of the work streams is resource management team. Within that resource management team, we have, as I said, we're working on the UNFC and the UN resource management system, and EGS is part of the work on this specific group of experts. It's probably the largest group of experts and the largest representation that we have within our working groups. They are a member of our bureau as well, which is the higher coordinating body. We have more than 500 experts working in our team, and we have chairs. We have a chair, which comes from the United States, and we have chairs who represent both member states of UNECE, but as well the private sector, associations of professional associations of the private sector. And thanks to the support of the European Commission, we have a very important project ongoing now for 2 years and running, which is supporting the supporting the UNECE member states in the development and implementation of the United Nations Classification for Resources, UNFC, as I said, and the United Nations Resource Management System. I wish to thank the European Commission for their support, financial support, moral support, of course, and experts, professional support for this. It is very important. This, I'll go a little bit more into the detail to explain you what's the UNFC, but it has been in gestation for about 20 years. And I think now it's the time for that baby to be delivered, if you allow me this expression. We've been working hard on that one with EGS, and we're organizing training across the member states and across the European Raw Materials Alliance to introduce what is all about and why it is important, especially at the time, at these times, as we are saying. What is the UNFC? The UNFC is a classification method that allows to compare projects of different nature between them. It is a classification method that is applicable to mineral resources, to natural resources, to sources of energy, to anthropogenic resources. So it's not a methodology that will tell you whether a project is green or not green or whatever. It's a methodology that will tell you how to compare different projects of different nature and give a tool to the decision makers whether they be at the government level, but as well at the private sector level, such as the banks financing, for example, those projects, which project to choose. It's a complex methodology, but it's very powerful, because that will allow us, and it's a dynamic methodology, because it's based on a statistical method, and it's based on a probability method. So you can actually see if certain variables within that decision-making tree change, what would be the impact on your project. It doesn't tell you you should invest or you should not invest in the project. It will tell you this project is better than that one for this reason or for the other reason, or these are the challenges that you're facing when looking at this project. We have produced a guide, as you can see, thankfully we are getting better at marketing. We're calling it UNECE Guidance Europe, because the title, as you can see, is very long, so it wouldn't be a product, a sellable product. So we came up with this idea, and it's a byproduct of the project that we have with the support of the European Commission, to which EGS as well has contributed. And there is a document for users, a short one, it's 10 pages, and a big one instead for the experts, which is about 50 pages of annexes. This project was approved this Tuesday by the expert group of our commission, so it's now official, I would say, and it will be available. And it shows how to apply that methodology. And our objective now is to diffuse, is to make it as known and available to as many parties as possible. The European Commission, we have heard they are working on the EU Raw Materials Act. I hope that they will be inspired by this, when drafting this act, inspired by this methodology. We're working with the African Union as well, and a number of other institutions and associations, but our aim is to go global. This is one of the areas where, with the EGS and the European Commission and all the other partners that want to work with us, we want to go, because it's, we don't want to stay only in Europe. I think this has the power of going global. And so one of the next steps for us for the next 50 years of the EGS is to go global with that, go outside of Europe and outside of UNECE region. And for that purpose, I wish to do a little bit of advertising for an initiative which will take place very soon here in Brussels as well, with the support of EGS and DG GROW from the European Commission. In the Raw Materials Week, well, one day will be dedicated, or half a day will be dedicated to the UNFC and the UN Resource Management System. We will be there. Our title is Accelerating Implementation of UNFC in Europe. It starts here. Europe is a pioneer across the world on many points, and I think they are pioneers as well on this item. We have heard from the previous speakers the level of awareness and the level of attention that this concerns, this subject has at the level of the European Commission and the European Union. So we are all welcome to join us, to know more, to learn more. You will find a lot of documentation and explanation on our website, but not only on our website, as well on the website of DGS. And concluding my speech note, and leaving the floor for the panel, which will be very interesting because it has a different perspective from what we heard so far. I wish to say that you have, EGS has my personal commitment to work on this item and bring the UNFC to a much wider audience. And I think we have done a lot of good work. A lot of work is in front of us. And if I can conclude on a note, in Italy we say, when it's a birthday, we say 100 di questi anni. So not only 50, but 100. So thank you very much for your attention. And I leave the floor again to the moderator. Thank you.